Hi, everyone. Welcome to another Colorado Buffalo preview on 850KOA.com. Mark, nice win for the Buffaloes last week. What did Brian Cabral bring to this team that allowed them to get that victory?
Well, 34-14, the Buffs knock off Iowa State at Folsom Field. First game, of course, without Dan Hawkins. And I think what Brian Cabral did best, he just got out of the way. We've talked about it so many times. We talked about it on the broadcast. There was a tendency to try and outthink the room with this football team under Dan Hawkins. And I think the best thing that Brian did as a defensive coach who hadn't done much with offense over his career, he kind of got out of the way. He just let the offensive staff coach. He let the players just play. They simplified things. There's nothing wrong with old-fashioned blocking and tackling, and that's what the Buffs did very well. And look what happened. Cody Hawkins, who certainly was in the middle of this firestorm with his father being fired as a head coach, was no longer the coach's kid playing quarterback. He was just the quarterback. He went out and threw for 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and ends up getting Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week in the conference. And so I think that was basically it. Got out of the way and let coaches coach and players play, and the Buffs played probably their best game of the season.
Well, Brian said it in his press conference this week. The competition now gets tougher the final 2 games. 2 games they need to win if they want to become bowl eligible. It'll also be the final home game against a Big 12 opponent with CU, a member of the Big 12. Talk about the game this Saturday.
Well, you're seeing the end of an era in some regards here, of course, when you go back in Colorado's history with the Big 7 or the Big 8, and then, of course, the Big 12 for the last 15 years. That all comes to an end. And believe me, the irony isn't lost on everyone that it's Bill Snyder, a guy who really made his mark in the Big 12 Conference, who brings the Wildcats in here. Here's a team that was in the top 25. They've tailed off a little bit, but still, they come in with one of the best rushing attacks in the country with Daniel Thomas at running back, and they're going to use 2 quarterbacks against the Buffaloes. One in Kaufman, he's more of a throwing quarterback. Klein, of course, who's a Denver area kid out of Loveland, he's more of a running quarterback. Buffs are going to have to be stout defensively, slow down the run. Now, offensively, Colorado can run the ball, and it has to run the ball. That's really the Achilles heel for Kansas State. They're giving up over 200 yards per game on the ground, so it could be a big day for Rodney Stewart and the Buffaloes as they put a wrap on the home schedule for the Big 12 before that move to the Pac-12 Conference. Buffaloes and Kansas State at Folsom Field should be a great senior day for the Buffaloes. Looks like the weather's going to be good. 12:10 kickoff. We'll hit the air on 850 KOA at 10:05. Our network affiliates pick up at 10:35. For Andy Lindahl, I'm Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us on our Buffs preview here on 850KOA.com.